And we're very mindful of recruiting. And, I'm going to speak at Beta Alpha Psi, I think, next week at LSU. And I think our pitch is, like I said earlier, not your dad's CPA firm. I think that for us, we'll come off as an opportunity for folks to make just as much money as Big Four, but be able to scale your knowledge that much quicker. And also, we have young kids too, right? And so we understand the importance of balance. And, I'm not going to say like I have the best work-life balance, but I'll be damned, like my staff will have a better work-life balance than I do. Because I took the risk, and the buck stops with me. And so I want them to have the best experience. And I think me being so near to that I guess point in life where, you're newly married or you're having kids and I can relate to that. And when I was at, these big firms or even bigger companies, the relatability, it just isn't there. And I think for us, that's kind of another one of our defining factors.
Yeah, you lose a little bit when you take 10 to 15 years to get to a senior partner level where you're making those decisions from the staff that are there in their early 20s.
That's right.
They're worried about nowadays maybe settling down. They want to travel, which means they need remote opportunities. They want to start a family, which means they're going to need some flexibility in the timing. Or they've got young kids, which means they need even more flexibility in timing. So you run into the situation where you're almost unrelatable to a degree of, well, what do you mean you can't just come into work at 5 or 6 in the morning and get this stuff done? Like, what do you have to do?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I've got a kid I got to drop off at either daycare or preschool. And it's like, oh, well, my kids are driving, they're self-sufficient. I don't have those same burdens, and it's hard to establish this, here are my needs. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. And it starts on the front end too. I mean, I always try to tell the staff, it's like, I'm going to load you up, like you need to tell me when, but when you say when, I'm not going to push you any harder because like, I understand that, like for instance, a staff member calls in sick. I got it. I can pick up the slack. Now, on the flip side, John can't ever call in sick. Do you know what I mean? And yeah. So that's the trade-off. Like, I'm not going to expect them to work as hard as me because I get more reward, to be quite honest. Now, if they want the same amount of reward and they can match the work ethic and the drive, then we're going to make it equitable. And I think that comes down to leadership, like being able to treat everyone fair, but not the same. I think that's the problem with big organizations too, is they treat everyone the same. They think fair is the same, and it's not. Like, that's what happens with these high performers at these big firms. They get treated the same as everyone else, and in reality, they're going above and beyond. And their bonus is capped, but it shouldn't be capped because they're, providing a higher level of service to their clients. And so for me, in terms of growth, I don't want to ever be so big that part of our culture gets lost. Yeah. Like where I'm only tracking scorecards. Like, I want to see, I want to talk to the clients and see how they feel about the staff. And that's how we can really maintain that true quality.